Chrissie Mayr just got attacked outside of her comedy show in New Jersey the other night, and she tweeted about it, saying, "After my comedy show tonight during the meet and greet, some cowardly F word, I'm assuming, pepper sprayed me and the area, sending many of us into coughing fits, teary eyes, and running for the doors for fresh air. It seems everyone is okay. We're still trying to figure out who did it and why. Just a really effed up thing to do in a crowd, which happens to include a very pregnant woman. The worst part about being pepper sprayed after my show is that they waited like an absolute pussy and pepper sprayed me after my show." And this is, I assume, because she said something that offended somebody, and they decided to become violent about it in response. And there's still no sign that they've been identified. We don't know who it was, but safe to guess it was some, triggered SJW. There needs to be a better word for that.
Yeah,
I mean, she used it. She used the better word for it, but I can't say it on YouTube, okay?
Yep.
And she did actually get in trouble for that. Someone responded, "No one should have to go through that, and that person needs to be found and charges pressed. But was the F word comment really necessary? I get she's upset, but it makes her seem homophobic, which isn't helping." And she said, "Yes, it was necessary. It helped get my point across." Absolutely true.
Golf.
And he said, "But it makes you seem like the bad guy being a homophobe when they're the bad guy for doing this. I'm guessing it's a homophobic joke or two that triggered them into this attack." And then she said, "It's not my job to tiptoe around the mentally ill."
Based. What a great
I
answer.
love Chrissie Mayr.
What a great answer.
And it's like, she definitely could go on a rant about how
or ignore
she's such a victim and she can't tell jokes, but like, she's so resilient and just takes everything in stride, and she's really funny. She said, "Maybe I'll try to squirt breast milk into my eyes."
See, I thought I heard that spicy foods induce labor. Maybe they were just trying to get her to go into labor so that she could have the kid right now.
She is extremely pregnant. I'm not sure exactly how far along she is, but she is.
I like the descriptor, extremely pregnant.
She is imminently going to give birth. So I just think it's really disgusting that they would even put a risk on someone's someone in their child's life like that. And their health.
It shows you just how blinded people are by the anger that like culture war issues seem to be bringing upon people. Like it short circuits your rational brain, and then they wonder like, how do human beings end up committing all these atrocities? Well, this lady says words you don't like, so they're going to attack her while she's pregnant. Gee, I wonder how humanity can be so weird and awful all the time.
I gotta say, I super appreciate literally everything about this, because anyone that knows me knows that meeting me in the beginning, it's very abrasive. Like, I'm not.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm a naughty little boy. Like, usually when you meet me, like, talk to me. And honestly, it's purposeful on my behalf and on the behalf of people that are like me. It's because I refuse to deal with people that are incredibly sensible. And I'd rather them hate me and
sensitive.
Sensitive. And I'd rather them hate me and not talk to me at all.
Yeah.
I didn't find you abrasive.
I mean,
when we met, at least.
Well, it's because you're not.
You filtered it out.
Yeah. You're not particularly like a weeping harlot either.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would never want to be called a weeping harlot.
I just can't believe
I thought you're not.
I can't believe that such drastically bad things would happen over jokes. And
what on earth did she say? Yes. That like that was the straw that broke the camel's back for someone? Like that was their last straw, and they decided, I'm going to hurt an entire room of people right now, and
put a child at risk.
It seems like it was planned too, because like, I don't know, is that even allowed inside a club like that? You're not allowed to bring weapons into clubs like that.
And not just that. I mean, it made me think of like when the dude attacked Chappelle with the gun knife, right?
That was insane.
And a guy attacked Dave Chappelle with a gun with a knife fastened to it, like a bayonet. And then you wonder why we live in a culture now where people are afraid to speak. It actually does put you in legitimate danger.
I mean, the moral high ground is a really dangerous drug. These people are OD on it.
Like the idea, like there's nothing that a person like that loves more than the idea that not only do they get to attack you, but they get to feel virtuous while attacking you. The idea that anyone could be deluded enough to believe that attacking somebody pregnant is morally acceptable proves to you just how bad people's brains have been broken by what's going on in the culture war.
Like, it obviously wouldn't be acceptable even if she weren't pregnant, but it just makes it all the more repugnant that they did that. And it does seem premeditated.
And to a woman also. Like, I know, whatever, but...
Yep. And
simp. Dane is a simp.
This is not the first time this has happened. Like that somebody there was somebody attacked outside of her, like a heckler attacked someone outside of her show.
That was only
back
months ago.
Just a couple months ago, not that long ago. So it's proving that like they talk a lot about Chappelle. Joe Rogan talks a lot about how like he opened his comedy club because they kind of are the last line of defense for sanity in the culture right now. And we're seeing right now, there was just an article that Christian Toto put up the other day about 4 comedians who, at least according to the article, were listed as non-woke, had a show canceled in Seattle because they didn't like their...
Of course it's Seattle.
The Legion of Skanks people.
Yeah, so...
Dave Smith and whatnot.
I forgot Dave Smith was in that list. I always forget he's a comedian. I don't ever see his, I only know him in a political context.
That's like his shtick.
So like the idea that to do your job, which is to unabashedly go forth and say what the rest of society isn't willing to say, you're going to be put in physical harm. That's kind of crazy.
I mean, I've watched some for comedy and I don't even think it's that out there. Like it doesn't, for me at least, maybe I'm not the audience member who's going to be super offended, but her jokes don't push that far against the boundary to ever warrant such a response.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't matter what she said. It doesn't warrant a response like that. But like, relative to a lot of other comedians, I just don't think that I wouldn't pin her as the one who would piss someone off to this extent.
I mean, the Overton window is white women filming themselves weeping over a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
Like, so...
Do you think it was a woman that did this? Or do you think it was a man?
Probably a dude.
Yeah.
Cringy male feminist?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they do have violent tendencies. You do not trust a male feminist.
I bet it was the guy that I showed you earlier that was having the microwavable pizza and drinking wine and doing hookah with his cat.
Swishing his wine
Literally
around in his
him.
apartment all alone, filming his TikTok. Yeah. Definitely that profile.
I guess just for me, because I see about so many people who exist in this space, people get so mad at them online. And I just can't imagine, out of all the people that we talk about, and there are people that we criticize fairly heavily, though I'd like to think that most of the time I look at most of this stuff from outside of like Hollywood stupidity with box office and stuff like that. I have a fairly emotionally detached approach to most of the cultural stories that we cover. Like, I can't imagine anything like that enraging me to the point where I would feel the need to even raise my voice at them, let alone be physically violent with like the Hollywood stuff. It's because I'm yelling at an institution. I'm yelling at a conglomerate of morons who keep making really, really easily preventable financial blunders for the sake of an ideology. That's enraging to me because there's something unobtainable about trying to topple something of that stature, right? Whereas a human being, it feels like you should be able to, even if you disagree with them wholly, no matter how much bigger of a platform they have than you're still talking to a person, and a person is somebody you can try to connect with one-on-one. So that seems like a place where I would find rationality, whereas like when you're screaming to the high heavens to a corporate structure that's different, I can't imagine a person that would make me that angry that I would respond in such a way.
And she's so lovable too. I can't put myself in the shoes of someone who doesn't love Chrissie Mayr. Personally, can't relate. Also, talk about victim blaming, right? Like, these are the people who virtue signal all the time about how, like, how dare you suggest that a woman shouldn't wear a string bikini while she walks down the street. If she gets catcalled, it's the men's fault. You're a victim blamer. But now she's literally getting victim blamed because they're thinking, what could you have said that victimized somebody else that they had to retaliate in self-defense against your violent words? So... yeah, just all around not good for my faith in humanity.
I also saw somebody mention like I mentioned Chappelle, and they're like, Chappelle's a fully grown man, she's a woman who's pregnant. I'm like, I wasn't calling them equal. I'm saying that job as a comedian right now is a dangerous profession. For
Dave Chappelle, though, that was an attempted murder.
Yes,
that was like straight up an attempted murder. I mean, so that was higher stakes.
Is technically, I mean, I think technically pepper spraying someone with a child would be, somebody said that could be seen as attempted murder or
Perhaps.
attempted double murder.
Perhaps.
Right? And that's the thing. Their brain is short circuited. They don't realize that what they're doing is a crime. One, because the local attorney general's not going to prosecute you anyways. They're just going to let you go with no bail. You're not even going to try, you're going to have to pay bail. But it's just insane. And every day, like whenever we do this show, I never feel like, it's never rage. Outside of Hollywood and box office, it's never rage for me. It's more like demoralization and annoyance, but never rage. Never truly anger. Not in that way.
I think I'm past that too. I think I'm even past the demoralization.
I think, yeah, like
Yeah.
Okay, so now IRL, that's anger for me. Like a lot, like really evil media outlets lying about stories, framing somebody as a bad guy when, like the story about the woman in the bike. Okay, so like those stories, when they blatantly lie and mischaracterize something to stoke racial tensions, that pisses me off. That gets me angry. But nothing in this space that we cover, and that's probably why I haven't had a heart attack yet, or a coronary, right?
Yeah.
Like, is that like, I don't see it that way. And I understand that there's a lot of people that will see correlations, and that there's strong correlations between the evil that's going on in mainstream media with politics and what's going on in this area of pop culture. I get it. But to me, I just can't look at it the same way.
Yeah. I am officially calling on 4chan to find out who this is, so that he can be reported to the authorities.
Okay, well.
I think they're capable of it.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.